Hey everyone, so for this video I would like to talk about the trigeminal nerve, which is the fifth cranial nerve. I was going to do a video on all of the cranial nerves with nuclei in the pons, but I decided that I will just focus on trigeminal now, because trigeminal is quite a hefty nerve, and I think that needs a video for itself. So fifth cranial nerve, and it has sensory and it has motor functions. The sensory division runs through all three all three divisions of trigeminal. So V1, the ophthalmic branch, V2, maxillary, and V3, mandibular. Then it has motor functions as well, and this is done by the mandibular division, which is V3, to the muscles of mastication. So if you've done any reading on trigeminal, you may have realized that trigeminal has three nuclei in the brainstem. So it has the mesencephalic nucleus, it has the main sensory nucleus, it has the motor nucleus, and it has the spinal trigeminal nucleus. So I'm going to go through all four of these nuclei and just try to give you a better idea of the functions. Okay, so we'll begin with the mesencephalic nucleus. Actually, why don't we just begin just looking at trigeminal, like how it looks like on the surface of the brainstem. So this here is trigeminal. So it's at the level of mid-pons, so it leaves the brainstem at the level of mid-pons, just above the middle cerebellar peduncle. And like this is trigeminal, but if you see, if you look closely, you can see it has two kind of roots. This is the sensory root, and this is the motor root right here. Okay. So the mesencephalic nucleus of trigeminal and tract. This is a nucleus and tract which these extend all the way up to the midbrain, and the reason why it's called the mesencephalic nucleus and tract is because the midbrain is the mesencephalon. Okay, so these extend all the way up to the midbrain. The best way to think about the mesencephalic nucleus and tract is to think of them like just try to think of them as a group of neurons which got caught up inside the brainstem, rather than having their own external rather than forming like an external group of fibers and a ganglion. They just got caught up inside the brainstem and they just formed the mesencephalic tracted nucleus. And the mesencephalic tracted nucleus, these fibers are concerned with the jaw area, and they relay sensory information from the jaw area. So this is sensory information like proprioception, and they innervate the muscle spindles and the muscles of mastication. They innervate the area around the teeth, and they're involved with stretch reflexes when it comes to the jaw. So the axons of these neurons, of the mesencephalic neurons, they kind of have two roots, or two roots. Okay, there's the peripheral root. The peripheral root of the mesencephalic neurons, they leave through the motor root of trigeminal. Okay, and these go to like the muscle spindles they go to the muscle spindles, and they go to the muscles and they go to the area around the jaw, and they relay the sensory information. Okay, like proprioception. And the central root, the central root of the axons, these end up synapsing in the motor nucleus of trigeminal, and it's via this that the mesencephalic neurons can contribute in reflexes involving the muscles of mastication. Okay, so that's mesencephalic. So just to recap what we said about mesencephalic is this. I didn't tell you. Sorry, this is the mesencephalic tract and nucleus here. Okay. Let me just rub that out because I don't. Yeah, this is the mesencephalic tract and nucleus here. So mesencephalic proprioception, sensory information from the area of the jaw, from the muscles of mastication, has involvement in stretch reflexes, and it's called the mesencephalic because it's the tract and the nucleus extend to the midbrain, which is the mesencephalon. Next, we'll talk about the main sensory nucleus and tract of trigeminal, which is here. The main sensory nucleus and tract of trigeminal is concerned with every sensory modality in the head, like from every sensory modality apart from pain, temperature, and crude touch. So we should know that the trigeminal nerve is the main nerve for sensation in the head. Okay, so it is responsible, it transmits sensory information from the vertex of the head, which is here, from the vertex of the head all the way down to the chin. Okay, so it transmits sensory information apart from pain. So the main tract and nucleus, these are responsible for sensory information apart from pain, temperature, and crude touch, all the way from the vertex of the head down to the chin area. One thing to be aware of here is trigeminal does not innervate the angle of the jaw. So this kind of area of skin here in the angle of the jaw is not innervated by trigeminal. This is innervated by, I think it's C3, either C2 or C3 innervates this area of skin in the jaw. So the main sensory nucleus and tract, sensation from the vertex of the head down to the chin, all sensory modalities apart from pain, temperature, and crude touch. Okay. And the motor nucleus of trigeminal is here. Okay. Or here. And the motor nucleus, this innervates the muscles of mastication, okay, via the mandibular division of trigeminal. Okay, so let's just recap what we said. So mesencephalic innervates the jaw area. These fibers innervate the jaw area, and they relay information on proprioception, mainly proprioception from muscle spindles and Golgi tendons in the muscles of mastication, and it's called mesencephalic because it extends up to the midbrain. We said main sensory nucleus, all sensory modalities apart from pain, temperature, and crude touch in the head, like from the vertex down to the chin. And we said motor, this is innervating the muscles of mastication via the mandibular division. So next I'm going to talk about the spinal trigeminal nucleus and tract, which this is my favourite thing about the trigeminal nerve. And once you see the spinal trigeminal nucleus and tract, you will understand it very well. Well, I hope so anyway. Okay, so the spinal trigeminal nucleus and tract, these are associated with pain, temperature, and crude touch from the head. So these relay pain, temperature, and crude touch from the head. So do you remember what I said to you about the substantia gelatinosa when we did the spinal cord video? And I said to you substantia gelatinosa forms a cap on the dorsal horn, and it's involved in relaying pain, temperature, and crude touch from the body below the head. Remember, this here was the substantia gelatinosa. Okay, and this is where the neurons synapse, and then they form it then a second order neuron continues. But this here is the substantia gelatinosa, and doesn't that look very similar to this here? So this looks very similar to the substantia gelatinosa, which is relaying pain, temperature, and crude touch from the body below the head. It looks very similar to it, but this isn't the substantia gelatinosa. This is the spinal trigeminal tract and the spinal trigeminal nucleus. So can you see how like much it looks like the substantia gelatinosa, and it basically has the same functions, like it has the same, it's implicated in the same things as the substantia gelatinosa, except that the spinal trigeminal nucleus and tract, they are concerned with pain, temperature and crude touch from the head. Okay, like when I saw this, it just stuck with me, and this is how I just like now know that the spinal trigeminal nucleus and tract are pain, temperature and crude touch from the head. Now the spinal trigeminal nucleus and tract, these aren't just, it's not just trigeminal which uses these. The spinal trigeminal nucleus and tract is shared amongst all other cranial nerves, which also have fibers which relay pain, temperature and crude touch from the head. So trigeminal sends its fibers here. The facial nerve sends its fibers here. Glossopharyngeal and vagus. All of these cranial nerves have some component which is concerned with pain, temperature, with either pain, temperature or crude touch from the head. Therefore, they all share the spinal trigeminal nucleus and tract. Okay. So I hope you've understood that. I hope that's made it clear. Once you see this, and once you see how much it resembles substantia gelatinosa, for me that really made it clear for me. So just one more thing I didn't tell you. This is the caudal medulla, so we are very low down in the medulla here. We are almost actually in the spinal cord. Like we're very, very, very low in the medulla. And the spinal trigeminal tract and nucleus, it extends all the way to like roughly the mid pons, but it doesn't continue to look like this. It does change as you ascend. Let me try and show you an example. So this is the caudal pons, and this here is the spinal trigeminal nucleus and tract. But here in the caudal medulla, the spinal trigeminal nucleus and tract look very similar to the dorsal horn of the spinal cord and the substantia gelatinosa. So I hope that's clear. I really hope that's cleared it up. I really hope that's made things a bit more clear. So just to recap what we said, trigeminal has 4 groups of nuclei in the brainstem. We said it has the mesencephalic, which is concerned with sensory modalities, particularly proprioception from the muscles of mastication and the jaw area, and has fibers which innervate the muscle spindles and the Golgi tendons. And we said this is the main sensory nucleus, so all other sensory modalities apart from pain, temperature and crude touch from the vertex of the head down to the chin, and all 3 divisions of all of the sensory fibers of trigeminal are like relay via the main sensory nucleus. This here is the motor nucleus of trigeminal, and the motor nucleus is involved with innervating the muscle of mastication. And we said the spinal nucleus, which is concerned with pain, temperature and crude touch in the head, and it's shared by trigeminal, by facial, glossopharyngeal